All right, let's dive right in. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're cracking open a very special wisdom toolkit straight from the biblical text. Today, we're zeroing in on the book of Proverbs, chapter 19, to be exact. Now, if you're around 8 years old or older, you are at the absolute perfect age to start building your very own toolkit for life. And honestly, the best part is that these tools are designed to help you make awesome choices, dodge unnecessary trouble, and just figure out how to live a truly amazing life. So, let me ask you something. Have you ever made a plan that just completely flopped? I mean, picture this. Maybe you spent literally hours building the most epic, towering block city in your living room, right? You plan for it to stand forever, but then, boom, your dog runs through and smashes the whole thing to pieces. We've all been there. We all have these big ideas and plans that just do not work out the way we want them to. It's super frustrating, right? But let's see what the biblical text actually says about who is really in charge when our plans fall apart.
Okay, moving into section 1. God's big plan.
And that brings us right to our very first tool, understanding His big plan. Look, it's totally okay when our own little plans fail, because we can always trust in His ultimate plan for our lives. He sees the whole big picture, even when all we can see are smashed blocks on the rug. In fact, Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." This is such a powerful verse. It shows us that while we might dream up 100 different things we want to do today, it's always His purpose that ultimately wins out. That word prevails, it just means it's the strongest. It's the plan that actually succeeds. So hey, when your plan doesn't work out, don't panic. It really just means He's making room for His better purpose to prevail.
Up next, section 2, honesty and love win.
You know, sometimes people think that having the most toys or the newest video game or the most money is the absolute ultimate goal, but His wisdom, it tells us something completely different. It shows us what's truly valuable in life compared to just trying to get what we want at any cost. The biblical text makes it super clear that what a person truly desires deep down is unfailing love, and it tells us it's actually far better to be poor than to be a liar. Just think about it for a second. Would you rather have a friend who has 1,000 cool toys but lies to you all the time? Or a friend who maybe doesn't have a lot of stuff but always tells you the truth and genuinely cares about you? Honesty and love are the real treasures here. Lying just breaks trust, but unfailing love, that builds really strong, happy friendships.
All right, section 3. Don't be a sluggard.
Okay, let's reach back into the toolkit and pull out a really funny-sounding word that actually teaches us a super serious lesson about hard work. Go ahead and say this word out loud with me. Sluggard. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Kind of sounds like a slow, sleepy bug crawling on a leaf. But it's actually just an old-school word for someone who is extremely lazy. We're talking about a person who tries to avoid doing any work, chores, or homework whatsoever. Now look, we all have days where we feel a little tired. That's normal. But being a sluggard means you make a habit out of doing absolutely nothing.
Check this out. The biblical text says, "A sluggard buries his hand in the dish, but will not even bring it back to his mouth." The imagery here is just hilarious, but kind of sad at the same time. Imagine someone sitting at the dinner table, so incredibly lazy that they grab a slice of pizza from the plate, but then they just leave their hand there. Like they won't even use the energy to lift the food to their own mouth to eat it. His wisdom is reminding us here that laziness gets us literally nowhere, not even a full tummy. Hard work is definitely a much better tool to keep in your kit.
Moving right along, section 4, listening to correction.
Let's be honest. Nobody really likes being told they did something wrong. But even when it's tough to hear, accepting correction from your parents or teachers is actually a superpower. It helps you grow up strong and smart. The biblical text compares two types of kids here, the mocker and the discerning. So a mocker is someone who makes fun of the rules and just ignores good advice. The text says a mocker has to be flogged, which basically means they face a really tough punishment, just for simple people to learn to be careful. But a discerning kid, that means a kid who actually pays attention and wants to be wise. That kid gains knowledge just from a simple warning or a rebuke. They don't need the hard punishment to learn because they just listen the first time.
The text specifically warns that if you stop listening to instruction, you'll stray from the words of knowledge. It's kind of like wandering off a safe, well-lit path right into the dark woods. So, here are your 3 steps to success. Step 1, listen to instruction. When someone wiser speaks, open those ears. Step 2, accept the rebuke. Basically, if you mess up and get corrected, don't get mad, just accept it. And step 3, gain knowledge and stay on track. This is exactly how you use His wisdom to keep moving forward in a really great direction.
We really have to avoid being foolish because the biblical text guarantees that ignoring correction comes with consequences. It mentions that a corrupt witness, like someone who lies just to get others in trouble, makes fun of what is fair and right. And the wicked? They just gulp down evil like it's a giant soda. But the text makes it crystal clear. Penalties are prepared for those who mock justice, and tough consequences are waiting for fools. So for sure, the smart choice is to stay far away from mocking and choose to be a really good listener.
Next up, Section 5, Respecting Your Family. Let's look at another tool, and this one is meant specifically for how you act inside your own house, with your own family. Respecting your family is a massive part of living a wise life. The text says whoever robs their father and drives out their mother is a child who brings shame and disgrace. Now, okay, you might not be literally stealing money out of your parents' wallets, but treating your parents badly, being super disrespectful, or ignoring their rules, that is totally against his wisdom. Doing that only brings deep shame and disgrace to you. A wise kid knows that treating their mom and dad with real honor is the absolute best way to build a happy home.
And finally, Section 6, the ultimate reward.
So, we've talked about trusting his plan, being honest, working hard, listening to correction, and respecting your parents. But what does it all actually lead to? Well, it leads to this really beautiful concept mentioned in Proverbs 19, verse 23, the fear of the Lord. Now, wait just a second. This absolutely does not mean being scared of him. It's not like hiding under your bed when there's a loud thunderstorm. Not at all. Fear of the Lord simply means having such a deep, massive respect and awe for him that it makes you genuinely want to live by his rules. You love him so much that his wisdom basically becomes your favorite toolkit.
And when you have this massive respect for him, the biblical text says it comes with the best rewards ever. First, it leads directly to life. I mean a real, full, amazing life. Second, it allows you to rest content. That means you feel peaceful and totally satisfied inside instead of always throwing a fit because you want more stuff. And third, it keeps you untouched by trouble. Now, while that doesn't mean you'll never have a hard day, living by his wisdom absolutely protects you from so many foolish mistakes and unnecessary problems.
So here's my final question for you as we finish up this explainer. I want you to think about everything we learned today. We looked at his big plan, the true importance of honesty, avoiding being a lazy sluggard, listening to correction, and respecting your parents. Out of all of these, which piece of his wisdom will you put into practice right away? Decide which tool you're going to pick up and use tomorrow to build an amazing life. Thanks so much for joining me, and stay wise.